There is so many injuries in this game. As you know, for the 49ers side, we got Debo, we got CMC, we got Greenlaw, but that doesn't even come close to scratching the surface to what the heck is going on with the Los Angeles Rams. Last week, they finished the game, I believe, you can correct me if I'm wrong, with 4 of their 5 starting offensive linemen not in the game, including a third-string left tackle and the one offensive lineman who is a starter on this team played hurt because they just didn't have the bodies to make it through the game. Am I reading that right? On top of Puka Nacua, on top of Cooper Kupp, on top of your starting safety Johnson, and your 2 of your best corners probably on the team, they're now out. It is absolutely insane what is happening to the Rams. What the heck, dude? Whether it's fantasy football or higher lowers, Underdog has got you covered. Link is in the description. Promo code LSS to get your deposit match 50% up to $1,000 and your 1 free pick. Underdog, make picks, win money. Shout out to Underdog for being a great sponsor.
Yeah, it's brutal. I mean, I haven't seen anything like this since 2022. That's when it all went to hell in a handbasket. But what I would say in regards to 2022, because I actually had to do some research. I had to look this up because people kept saying it's like 2022. And I had this idea that I'll look this up and find out actually 2022 wasn't as bad as this. And guess what, Jesse? I've come to that conclusion. 2022 wasn't as bad as this. So 2022, they had Kyren Williams on the IR. By the way, going into week 3 of 2022, Kyren Williams on the IR, Tutu Atwell on the IR, Van Jefferson, Jacob Harris, Tyler Higbee, Tremaine Ankrum was put on season-ending IR, Logan Bruss season-ending IR, Jamil Demby IR, Brian Allen was out, Daniel Hardy was on IR, Kobe Durant was out, Troy Hill was on IR, David Long was out, Daniel Isom was on IR, and so was Jordan Fuller. And I understand that's a lot of guys, but did any of those guys sound, I mean, obviously Kyren Williams, we have to factor in that he was a rookie that year, didn't really do much of anything. Did any of those guys sound like you needed them tomorrow to win a game? No. I mean, it would have helped probably having not 3 of your corners out for week 3 in 2022. But considering everything that was going on, that was pretty doable. However, this is the 2024 list. You ready for this? Cooper Kupp, not going on IR, but he's out for at least the next game. Puka Nacua IR. Davis Allen is out. Tyler Higbee, physically unable to perform list. Joe Noteboom, IR. KT Leviston, IR. Connor McDermott, IR. Steve Avila, IR. Jonah Jackson, IR. Laryl Murchison, IR. Darion Kendrick, IR, season ending. Trey Tomlinson, season ending, IR. Darius Williams, their starting cornerback, IR. And John Johnson III, IR, and he was one of their top safeties and was one of the best safeties through the first 2 weeks. So it's a lot of injuries, Jesse. It's a lot, but no one is going to feel sorry for the Rams, and that's just the reality of it. They're a professional sports team. There are other guys on the team. There's no excuses. That's what Sean McVay has said. That's what I'll continue to say. You can say injuries are this, injuries are that. Well, I can tell you without a doubt, injuries are not the reason the Rams lost 41-10. Anyone who's using injuries as an excuse for that did not watch the game. The game was simply won because the Cardinals wanted to win the game. They showed up, they showed out, and the Rams were honestly gutless on the defensive side of the ball. They're now leading the league in missed tackles. So that's a concern there. But I know you'll have more questions, but yes, injuries are brutal for the Rams going into week 3.
Now, is Witherspoon going to play this week?
So that's the interesting one. I know he probably wants to. Now, he is in football shape because everyone immediately starts to wonder, a guy that is signed to the practice squad, is he ready to go? Like, where are we on him? He's in football shape, but being in football shape and being in game shape are two completely different things. Being in football shape means that you are an athlete. You didn't just sit, on the couch and eat Cheetos the entire offseason. You actually worked out and you kept yourself in good shape and you have conditioning and all of that. And then there's actual game shape where no human is able to go to that level. These are not human beings. The amount of stamina you need to play in an NFL game is insane. So you already take what, Akello's gone through in his, performance off the field and how he's essentially kept himself in really good shape. And he's probably as strong as he's ever been, if not the strongest he's ever been. And now you factor in the fact, well, now he's got to get himself in NFL game shape. And that's asking a lot. So he might play just for the realization that maybe the Rams are going to kind of feel like, yeah, Trey White might not have been the move. He hasn't looked good the first 2 games, in my opinion. You said on our show he has to play. I agree. I would throw him out there even if he's not ready. He's ready enough. Kobe Durant on the other side has played really good football, so that's encouraging. So if you could get Akello out there on the other side of Kobe Durant, I think you could see a decent performance. I do think the safeties being as deep as they are, the John Johnson injury is going to suck, but not too much. But we're going to see. I think it's a great question, though. And I know the plan initially was Kello's going to spend the next 2 weeks, get himself in game shape. He'll be ready to go in week 4. They might not have until week 4.
Yeah, I think that brings me beautifully into the next question, which is, I don't know what the stat is on teams that start 0-3, but I got to imagine it's not very often that they make the playoffs. I'm sure it's happened here or there. Do you believe that this is a must win? Looking at the schedule ahead, looking at how long some of these other players are going to be out, do the Rams have to win this game? And at what point does it become a must win? If not this week, then does week 4 become a must win? Is it week 5? Like the bye week in week 6, I think the Rams, the way that everything is played out, a lot of these guys aren't out for the season, which means coming out of that bye week, as long as nothing else happens, which is asking a lot at this point because it seems like every week the worst is happening, they will actually have a relatively healthy, complete, good-looking roster coming out of an early bye week, which early bye week's not normally ideal, but I think in this circumstance it probably is. But if you go into that bye week and you have 1 win, that can't happen. So is week 3 a must win for the Rams, in your opinion?
I think every game moving forward is a must win. Collect as many as you can and hold out hope until those reinforcements come. It's not like, you're going to war and all of a sudden you're like, well, we don't have our best sniper. We don't have our best, gun runner or whatever. So let's just stop, fighting. It doesn't work that way because other people are going to fight back. So that's what it happens. I mean, the 49ers have a game to play. Whether the Rams are ready for it or not doesn't hurt the 49ers. They go out there, they play, they win. They have, goals. And, obviously, I'm sure in the back of their mind, they're probably looking at this like, we could bury the Rams here and make it so a team that maybe we viewed going into the season as kind of like going to, compete for our spot in the NFC West and at the top, now they have a chance to really bury them.